2 years ago, I uploaded a pair of videos showcasing all the bosses in Elden Ring that can have NPCs summoned against them. Thanks to a comment by Chrono Crusader, I decided to make another one for the DLC bosses. Also, thanks to this comment, I will actually be doing NPC questlines because at the time of writing this script, by my count there are 9 instances where an NPC can be summoned during a boss fight, and I know some of them can be easily missed or outright disabled if you make certain choices. With all of that out of the way, let's get into it. I'll start by showing how to start all the different NPC questlines that we will be covering in this video. Starting off with Redmane, Freyja, and Hornsent, they can be found at the 3-path cross side of Grace. To start, just go here and exhaust both of their dialogues. Got issues in my head. I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Next up is Moore and Syrup Ansbach. They can be found at the main gate cross side of Grace. Just like before, go here and exhaust both of their dialogues.
Dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting.
Next is Thiollier. He is in a pretty out of the way spot, so just follow my path and you'll find him just fine.
I wish you loved me like I love you, it's stupid. When I'm alone with you I never feel lucid. I wish I wasn't struck by Cupid. I wish when I first saw you I knew this. When I'm with you I feel so useless. I feel diluted, my heart's been wounded. Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm.
Just like before, talk to him and exhaust his dialogue.
Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain.
Once you are done there, return to Moore and he will give you an item called Black Syrup. He will ask you to give it to Thiollier, so go ahead and do that. Once you do this, keep talking to him until he gives you Thiolier's concoction. Hold on to this, it'll be important later. Our next stop is Hornsent Grandam. From the small private altar side of Grace, follow my movements. In this clip, I cleared out all the enemies, so be very careful as there are some tough enemies in this area.
My brain, that's why we take drugs to escape. I feel the rain, it burns like pain alone again. Where are my friends? I need to change things in my brain.
On this corpse, you will find a storeroom key. Pick it up and return to the private altar side of Grace. Follow my pathing again to open a locked door to meet our NPC.
You kept deceiving me, think you mistreated me. What did you ever see in me? I'm in a better place, I'm in a sweater space. The moles a warm embrace, taking me to better days.
As per usual, talk to her and exhaust her dialogue. Now for our first NPC summon. It's pretty simple. Redmane Freyja is summonable against the Divine Beast Dancing Lion. You do not need to do anything. Her summon sign will just be right outside the boss room. Once you defeat the boss, make sure you pick up the Divine Beast head. It is important. Now return to Grandam and you will find her mourning the death of the boss. Once you exhaust her dialogue, put on the Divine Beast head and speak to her again. exhaust her dialogue again. Then return to the site of grace, reload the area, and come back and speak to her. When you speak to her this time, she will give you an item called the Scorpion Stew. Hold on to this and take it back to Hornsent at the 3-path cross site of grace. Exhaust his dialogue once more. While you're here, speak to Freyja and exhaust her dialogue. That shit can be so addicting. I have some new convictions, I have some new conditions, I have some premonitions that this time things will be different. Next is Dryleaf Dane and Needle Knight Leda being summonable against Rellana Twin Moon Knight. Just like with Freyja, you don't have to do anything, both of their summon signs are just outside the boss room. For me, Dryleaf Dane's summon sign didn't appear, which seems to be a common problem for most users. Currently there is no known fix, but here's a video of Jacksepticeye finding it to prove that it's possible. My working theory is that they took this summon sign out when the DLC fully released, because all of these content creators got the DLC early, so they might have gotten rid of it for the live version. Once you've defeated Rellana, go north to find the High Road Cross site of grace. Here you will find Needle Knight Leda and Hornsent, as well as a Monk's Missive and the May the Best Win gesture. This will be important in just a second. Talk to Leda and Hornsent and exhaust their dialogue. Now on to the Monk's Missive. Go to the site of grace shown on screen and you will find Dryleaf Dane. Use your new May the Best Win emote and you will be pulled into a fight. Defeat Dryleaf Dane and you will get the Dryleaf Arts martial arts weapon. This is the last we will be seeing of Dryleaf Dane for a while. Next you want to head for the Shadowkeep. It is just north of the High Road Cross site of grace. Be careful of the furnace golem between you and the castle. Once you get to the castle, this story event will trigger. After this, take the lift up, grab the site of grace, and then go back and talk to the NPCs that you've met so far. Redmane Freyja will say that she wants to go it alone in order to research something. You will find her again inside the Shadowkeep. Ansbach has no important dialogue as of yet. Moore, when you speak to him, will give you this dialogue option. If you tell him to put the sadness behind him, you will meet him again in a fight in the endgame. If you tell him to stay sad forever, it will result in his death. Apparently, that will cause his items, his armor and his shield, to drop north of the Church of the Crusade. I chose to fight him later, so I cannot confirm where his items drop. Hornsent basically will just say that he requires revenge on Messmer for the genocide of his people. This will be important later. Leda will say that you need to cull anybody who is not loyal to Mikla. This will automatically allow you to suggest either Hornsent or Thiollier. Neither option is important yet, but if you abstain from answering, reload the area and come back, she will pick Hornsent anyway, so you might as well exhaust her dialogue, select them both, and forget about it for now. It will be important later. Speaking of Thiollier, he also does not have any important dialogue at this moment. Back to the Shadowkeep and our next two boss summons. Just in front of the Shadowkeep main gate side of Grace, there is a boss called the Golden Hippopotamus. Both Hornsent and Redmane Freyja are summonable for this boss fight after you have exhausted their dialogue. Summon them and defeat the boss, and move on. Once you've defeated the boss, follow my pathing to reach the next quest step. Once you get here, you will find two summon signs on the ground. This is a very important fork in the quest. If you assist Leda in killing Hornsent, you will not be able to summon him in the fight against Messmer. If you side with Hornsent and help him defeat Leda, nothing changes in the future of the game. Or you can just completely skip this with zero consequence, but either side rewards good equipment. Your next step is to defeat Messmer the Impaler. If you don't know how to get there, I have linked a video in the description that is a walkthrough of the entire Shadowkeep. Whilst exploring, you may find Ansbach and Redmane Freyja. Take note of their location. They will be important later. Messmer's boss fight, you can summon Hornsent during. However, his summon sign is not outside the boss room, but it is inside. This is good because since the summon sign is inside the boss room, summoning him does not make the boss fight any harder. Once you've defeated Messmer, rest at the side of Grace inside his boss room to reload the area. You will find Hornsent looking at the statue of Marika. Talk to him and exhaust his dialogue. This is the last time we will be seeing him until the end of the game. If you didn't use the walkthrough and you haven't found it yet, we are going to need the secret Rite scroll for the next step of the questline. Starting from the storehouse 4th floor side of Grace, follow my movements to go right to it. Once you have found it, go back down to the 1st floor and give it to Ansbach. If you didn't find him, follow my path and you'll get to him very quickly. Talk to him and exhaust his dialogue. Eventually, you'll be given the option to give him the scroll that you just picked up. Give it to him, reload the area, and come back to him. He will give you a letter meant for Redmane Freyja. Next, you want to go up to the 7th floor and give the letter to Freyja. She will ask you to pass on a message to Ansbach. We will be jumping back down to the 1st floor for the very last time to speak to Ansbach and pass the message on to him. Once you have exhausted all of his dialogue, this will be the last time we see either of them until the endgame. If you skipped fighting Hornsent or Leda, then Leda will remain at the High Road Grace. After you defeat Messmer, come talk to her, and she will have some dialogue for you. If you sided with Hornsent, she will not be here. Once you are done talking to her, go back to where Ansbach was. You will find two summon signs on the ground, similar to the Hornsent. If you help Leda, you will not be able to use Hornsent in later fights. Next, we will continue Thiollier's questline. This will take you to the Cerulean coast. If you don't know how to get here, I again linked a video on how to get down here in the description. Follow my pathing until you hit a site of grace at the bottom of a chasm. In front of this site of grace there is a tunnel. If you try to come here before this point, the tunnel will be blocked.
I work hard each and every day. I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall.
Pass through the tunnel until you hit the next side of grace.
Stop till I hear him say.
Proceed through the cave until you end up at the Fissure Depths site of grace. You will know you are in the right location because there are a bunch of sleeping animals around the grace.
6 a.m. and I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup.
From here, we want to go back to Thiollier and exhaust their dialogue. They will tell you that they are going south to where the purple lilies have begun to grow. Reload the area and he should no longer be there.
I work hard each and every day. I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits.
Return to the Fissure Depths side of grace once you have done this. Once you are here, continue south until you are at the head of the bowl. The next thing you want to do is jump down. Do not worry, despite the camera angle, you will not die. Once you have reached the bottom, you will notice a gold summon sign appearing. This is Thiollier.
I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving.
Defeat the resulting remembrance boss and grab the next side of grace.
My tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste in my mind.
West of that side of grace there is a tunnel. Through the tunnel, you will find Thiollier and a weird purple flower. This is Saint Trina. Talk to Thiollier and exhaust their dialogue. After you're done talking to Thiollier, you want to interact with Saint Trina. You will get a dialogue option that says Imbibe Nectar. You want to do this. You want to do this 4 times in total. Just make sure to pick up your runes in between each go. After the second death, you will have more dialogue with Thiollier. Talk to him again and exhaust all the dialogue. Interact with Saint Trina 2 more times. On the 4th interaction, you will get this message after you die. After this, speak to Thiollier again and exhaust his dialogue.
Yo, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, what am I doing? Did I do it right? Yeah, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, I can't think straight, need the light. I need to breathe, get me up and out of the sheets, onto my feet. Another cup of coffee and me, that's what I need. My eyes puffy, I can't see. I'm too tired.
Return to the side of Grace and reload the area.
I think I need to be on something medication.
Once you make a 180, you will be invaded by Thiollier.
I needed just a better education to understand the word that's
Defeat him, reload the area, and return to where he was a few seconds ago.
I feel hated, I feel hatred. I'm lost deep in my mind that I've created. I have dreams where my life is devastated. Feel so real that I wake up.
Interact and imbibe St. Trina's nectar 2 more times. You will get another one of those death screen messages on each one.
Can't think straight, need the light. Yo, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, what am I doing? Did I do it right? Yeah, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, I can't think straight, need the light. I really think I understand this world now. Got my head spinning round in a circle. Everybody lacks what they need internal, so they compensate with everything external. Not trying to throw shade, no way. I'm just trying to find the meaning of life, hey. There's happiness if you try to live the right way. Forget about what others have and live your life, hey. Be aware of who you are, what you're good at. Take a step forward, see where your foot's at. Stand tall, stand proud, talk loud. Every word out your mouth has purpose now. You just gotta get rid of the bad thoughts. Hate others cause you know that they gotta lie. Forget that though, you got plenty, you're alive in this life. You got time, go get it.
Once you get the message about killing Mikola, return to Thiollier and tell him what you heard. Once you have passed this message on to him, you are officially done with his questline. You will not see him again until the endgame. And now we have reached the final stretch, and a long run is ahead of us. From the west rampart side of Grace, turning west, there is a large gate and a small door. You want to open the small door and go across the bridge. On the other end of the bridge, there will be a Fire Knight that does not respawn if killed. Kill it now, or come back to it later. It's your choice.
I don't really think anyone can save me, and honestly I'm not really sure I want saving. I like to be my own worst enemy. There's no risk if you don't try at anything, so I'ma just keep buying everything. See you in the next life.
From this point forward, we'll just be jumping from side of Grace to side of Grace. So starting from the Viaduct Minor Tower, follow my pathing to get to the next side of Grace.
It's pretty cool that I'm alive and have better days. I could walk, see, hear, I should celebrate. Think I could change my mind, maybe elevate. Living life every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Yeah, all I need are some better days. 'Cause all I want, and I pray, I believe in the better days. I'm kinda stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do I work hard or live at my pace? You're only young one, yeah that's all great, but I also want a future where I'm okay. Living life.
From here, we will be heading west. Be careful of the furnace golem, as he will try to throw a flame tornado or two at you. Just run past him or kill him. It's your choice.
I think it's different for everyone. Some of us need work, others need fun. Some of us need purpose to overcome, but try to do what you love when it's said and done. 'Cause there's so many.
Next, head to the ruins to your southwest. This will lead you to the Church of the Bud, as well as an NPC invader. It is at this point you will be invaded by Hornsent. Why he's invading you? I don't know. Just kill him and move on to the next side of Grace. We have now reached our next NPC summon. This time it is Romina, Saint of the Bud. Upon approaching her boss room, to the right side you will notice Dryleaf Dane's summon sign. Summon him if you want, defeat the boss, and then move forward. From the Church of the Bud, head north and set the tree on fire using Messmer's flame. You will now be in Enir Ilim. Follow my pathing to get to our next point of interest. There are plenty of difficult enemies that will drop something good when you kill them, so kill them or run past, it's up to you. From this room, you want to head up the stairs to your east. Coming in here will cause Needle Knight Leda to be in the center of the room, and she will give you a monologue. As soon as she is finished talking, she will disappear, and on either side of you there will be summon signs. Depending on what quest lines you completed throughout the run, these summon signs may change. I would just like to quickly talk about how this fight can change based on decisions you've made in questlines prior, or by not doing any of the questlines at all. Shown up on screen now are the two sides and the pool of people that can help them. In my first run of the DLC, I did not do any questlines, and the only thing I really did was tell Moore not to put the sadness behind him. This resulted in my first fight being me and Natan against just Leda, Dryleaf Dane, and Moore. Thiollier can be entirely missed, Redmane Freyja can be entirely missed, and Natan just replaces Ansbach if you do not complete his questline. To make this fight the most epic thing that it can be, you just have to complete all the quest lines as shown in this video. Alternatively, if you told Moore to stay sad forever when that option appeared earlier, Moore will not be in this fight. As I said then, Moore will have died and his items will be near the Church of the Crusade. With this information, with just you, your summon, and Natan, you can potentially only fight Leda and Dryleaf Dane at this point if you don't complete any quest lines and you tell Moore to stay sad forever. It is for this reason that this fight is actually my favorite fight in the entire DLC, because choices you make or lack thereof during all the quest lines can actually change how this fight takes place. For example, if you had sided with Leda and helped her take down Hornsent and Ansbach, Ansbach wouldn't be here. He would be replaced with Natan. It is such a mastercraft way of doing NPC side quests, and I love it. It's amazing. I mean, when was the last time you heard of a game doing something like this? Where all of the NPCs that you have met prior in the game all come together in one full cohesive climactic moment because of you having done their quest lines. But with all that being said, once you've defeated all of them, you will return to your world. It is at this point you will be able to pick up Dane's footwork, Leda's armor, Redmane Freyja's whole armor set and weapon, as well as Moore's whole armor set and a shield. I would like to point special attention to Moore's armor set, as with its addition, we now have an armor that is comparable to the Bulgo armor set. They each have their own ups and downs, but they are pretty much the same, being with 100 poise. But anyway, at this point, you want to go up the lift where you will find Sir Ansbach, talk to him, and exhaust his dialogue. Now, as Ansbach put it, but wait, there is still one NPC left that can be summoned during a boss fight. That is not the final boss of the game. That's right, we still have to do Igon. You may have come across him while exploring. He has a questline attached to him that results in him being summoned against an optional remembrance boss. This questline is especially important to anybody who likes using the Dragon Communion or Dragon Cult incantation lines, like I do. Starting from the Pillar Path Cross side of Grace, where you would usually find Thiollier, you want to follow my pathing south until you hit a crossroads. You'll know you'll hit the right place when you can hear Igon moaning. You'll find him sitting in the middle of the road. Just talk to him and exhaust his dialogue as normal. There will come a point where he starts to ask you to spare him from the pain. Do not kill him. I made that mistake in my first run. From that point, you want to follow the road southwest until you get invaded by an NPC called the Ancient Dragon Man. He uses a lot of Dragon Communion spells, as well as one of the new Great Katanas, so be careful if you're coming here early game. Once you've defeated him, keep heading south until you find this cave, called the Dragon's Pit. Follow my pathing to progress through the dungeon, or explore on your own. It's not a big cave. Be wary though, there is a magma worm in here that could be a pretty tough enemy, but he will drop a dragon heart if you use the Dragon Communion incantations. Once you reach this pit, you want to jump down. This will lead you to the boss room where you will fight the Ancient Dragon Man again.
There's too much that's going on, I don't know what to do. Paralyzed by options in this world, can't pick and choose. Yeah, everybody's life is on display, including you. Yeah, I feel every day is just the same, stuck in a loop. I need some variety, I'm sick of this anxiety, I'm sick of this society, they make us feel a rivalry.
Defeating him will drop his Great Katana, which says that it has a Dragon Wound Grease effect on it for all dragons. You might find this useful for the remainder of this questline, as you will be fighting a lot of dragons. Rather than being teleported to the entrance, go out the south door. From this side of Grace, head east until you find a dragon laying in a pool. This dragon is optional for this questline, but you can beat it otherwise if you would like. Whether you beat it or you're running past it, you want to head south from here.
You better watch out now, I figured something out, what this whole life's about, yeah. It's not the goal, it's the journey, wasted emotion is worry, I'll stop being in a hurry, and I'll just enjoy what I'm doing, keep pushing forward. And
it is here where you will find the Grand Altar of Dragon Communion. It is here where Dragon Communion users will spend your Dragon Hearts to get Dragon Communion incantations.
Sometimes I feel a presence, energy in a direction, so I follow intuition. It took me to a musician, now I'm.
But more importantly, you will find this Dragon Priest here. You want to talk to her and exhaust all of her dialogue. When you come up to the dialogue option, you want to select Devour Draconic Essence. She will then give you an item that, when consumed, increases your attack and defense stats, I believe. And then she will task you to go take on Bayle the Dread, the boss at the end of this questline that we will be targeting. Before we go any further, there is something I need to talk about that I missed in both playthroughs. After you finish speaking with her, if you go back to the Site of Grace and pass time until nightfall, you should see that the Dragon Priestess is now asleep. If you go to her, it'll give you the option to use Thiollier's concoction on her. You picked this up a long while ago. If you do this, it will change the quest items that you get at the end of the questline. Now we want to go back to where we found that dragon earlier. This time we want to take the path to the north.
She says that she loves me, she just wants to fuck me. Got me feeling something, got me feeling nothing. Alcoholic junkie, says she thinks I'm funny. Think I might get lucky, spending too much money. She says she wants my necklace, put her on the guest list. Hope I don't regret this, hope I don't regret this. I'm feeling hella.
From this Side of Grace, you want to proceed forward. You will find two dragons that are fighting. You want to kill both dragons for the questline. Once the dragon with the boss health bar has been defeated, you will hear Igon talking. Kill the other dragon and you will find Igon to the north, directly in your path.
Can't think when she's aggressive. Yeah, she snuck into my section. Yeah, you think I'd learn my lesson. Yeah, and we ain't getting no sleep. These girls don't even know me.
Talk to him and exhaust his dialogue. He will give you an item called Igon's Furled Finger. What this does is that it will allow you to summon him against Bayle. Continue up the mountain until you hit the next Side of Grace. be warned, there is a named dragon in between you and the Grace, but you can run right past it. Or you can kill it if you'd like. He is a very tough fight.
Keeping her pad in her pen in her lap. She been so bad with the men in her past. Now she just want the professor so bad. I'll give her lessons that she never had, like taking a freshman and teaching her math. I'll keep her guessing until she a grad. She always leaves them guessing. They don't know what's next.
From here, you want to keep going up the mountain to the southwest. There are a lot of spirit springs and a lot of places you can fall, so be careful.
She asks a lot of questions. I answer with my presence. I sit back while I'm texting. Said she wants to get in. Said she'll bring her best friend. Know what happened next, man. You know what happened next, man. Treat her like a guest, man. Rolling out the best, man. She had a confession. Yeah, she wanna stay for a minute.
Once you get to this side of Grace, you will find Bayle's boss room right in front of you. Much like Messmer's boss fight, Igon's summon sign is inside the boss room, which means Bayle is not any harder by summoning Igon. It is important to note that his summon sign will not appear until Bayle has officially spawned in his boss arena. So you want to run far enough in to trigger Bayle, and then run back to the boss fog, where you will find Igon's summon sign. If Bayle kills you at all during your attempts to fight him, he will attempt to use a very fast opening attack against you as soon as you enter his boss room. So it's a lot easier for you to dodge that attack before getting to Igon's summon sign. Once you have defeated Bayle, return to the location where we last saw Igon. He will be dead and you will be able to pick up all of his items. After you do that, return to the Grand Altar of Dragon Communion and check on the priestess. She will be gone, and in her place will be an item that changes depending on what you did with her earlier. She will always drop the priestess heart, which for Dark Souls players, you would know that it is the dragon form from the previous Dark Souls games. Whether you gave her Thiollier's concoction or not will determine the other item. If you didn't give her the concoction, you will get this weapon. If you did give her the concoction, you will actually have a spirit summon from her. This could help you determine which one you want in your first playthrough. If you are interested in Dragon Communion incantations, you can go to the altar now and use Bayle's Heart to grab one of two incantations. I have not tested either of them myself, so just pick whichever one looks good to you. Now all that's left is the final boss of the game, who I will not be showing to avoid spoilers, as it is a very big story moment and I don't want to ruin that first reaction for people. It is important to note that this boss is very difficult on his own, so summoning might help you, but it also might hurt you because the summon signs are outside the boss room, so the boss fight will be harder. Just know that the summons for this boss fight are Thiollier and Ansbach. This is a pretty good pair to use up against this boss fight. Thiollier will set poison, while Ansbach will do bleed buildup. So yeah, that helps at least a little bit. But that is everything. Thanks everybody who watched this far into the video. This is by far the most effort I've put into a video, as well as the longest video to date. So I just want to thank everybody for watching this far, and thanks to Chrono Crusader for actually inspiring me to do this. If he had not put out that comment, I probably would not have done the research and would not have done this video. So thank you again, Chrono Crusader. The next video I'm thinking about doing is ranking all of the DLC remembrances. so let me know if you would like to see that. If you like the armor mod that I'm using in this video, I will link down below the Nexus page for this mod. One final time, just thank you for watching. It means so much to me that you've actually watched this far in the video, with me being such a low time, not even a low time, like this is a hobby if anything. But still, just thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Although it's over now, don't let it get you down. We'll be back around. For now